Page 29, Your Song. This is in 4/4 time. There's one flat in the key signature. We're in the key of F major here. Make sure you can do the scale for F major, at least one octave up and down. 2 octaves would be better, but if you don't know it, at least learn it 1 octave. Probably wouldn't hurt since you're there. Go ahead and do the scale for D minor also, because it only has 1 flat. You can cover that too. Right hand, starting here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And I'm assuming this rhythm isn't causing problems. If it is, you might want to go back to the method book on book 1 and concentrate on rhythm. It's so important. If it is causing you here, take out the tie and play all those notes. 1 and 2, 1 and, like so. And then you can put the tie back in. You just hang on to the note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now look out on the 3rd measure, it changed. 1 and 2. So now come in on the end of 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3. They got you. They get you sometimes. That's really the trickiest part. Let's go down to the bottom of the page. It's measure 12. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then on page 30, measure 13. You're down here. 1 and 2. They want you to use 4th finger again. I just used 4th finger here. Yeah. Either use 3rd finger here, 1 and 3, not 1 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, and then you can reach up if you want. Or you can go ahead and do the 1, 4, and then 3 on the last one. Just reach out. And now you're ready again. Or I'll give you choices. Stay here and use little finger on the A flat. 1 and 2 and 3. 1. So there's different ways of fingering this, but I do not recommend using 4th finger for both of those notes. Try something else. You decide, or your teacher decide, pencil in what you're doing and stick with it. Then going on, measure 15. You're up here now. 1, 2. Just come down with 3rd finger on the A flat. Connect all these notes. Here. And measure 17. 1 and 2 and 3. 2. 1 and 2 and 3. Their fingering is fine. You get this quite a bit. And measure 24. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Crossover. Why do they want you to cross over? I have no idea. Because up above you get the same thing in measure 18. So just do the same way here on measure 25. 1, they added a C, big deal. Just come down with the 3rd finger. You got to be able to do that, even with little hands. You don't have to cross over. Then going on. They have a B flat F. Now, the problem with that, well, there's a couple problems by the way, is that in the next measure, we need to be here. We're going from here to here. I want to connect it. So I'm going to do if your hand's small enough, you can put a thumb on that, do 1, 3, and then you can do it. Like so. If your hand's too big, you can't do that, then you got to come out here with a 2, 5, and then a 3, 4, and then a 5 here. So it depends on how big your hands are. But find a fingering that allows you to connect all of that together with the fingers. I think if you can, go ahead and do the 1, 4 here, or 1, 3. And then here. Then on measure 30 now, you don't have the B flat here. So there, now you can go ahead and then lift up Measure 34, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you don't want the thumb here, use second finger. And then 1 and, this measure 36, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Left hand just got a bunch of chords going on. You got the F chord, I use a 1, 2 here at the beginning because I got a D coming up, but there's nothing wrong with 1, 5. It's up to you. And then F, and measure 6, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it's important because the two hands have different rhythms here. They don't play together. They play together on the first beat of the measure and that's it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 4, 1, rest, come down. And measure 13, just here and then here, and you can get these notes. With measure 16, again, it's a different rhythm than the right hand, so just do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Don't see a lot of other stuff that's really tricky for the left hand. Over on page 31, around measure 39 or so, you get treble clef for the left hand. You got to come up here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest, and then you come back down to bass clef. So work it out so you got each hand kind of figured out on its own, and then when you go to put it together, if you're like me, it all falls apart and you got to watch out. So you just kind of work. I'm not worrying about hesitations or nothing. I'm just trying to get the hands to work together. Now in the introduction, that's the first 4 measures, no big deal because they don't really play together. 1 and you got to get so forth, and then on measure 5, that's where the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And sometimes I can put in the rhythm right off the bat, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I got to go through it a few times and gradually get the rhythm worked out to get the hands to play at the same time. Now, this piece is not quite so bad because for the most part, when one hand has got tricky stuff, the other hand doesn't, and they kind of take turns. Well, let's go over to page 31 on measure 30 here. So you got eighth notes. 1 and 2 and hold that down. 1 and 2 and 3. There. See, so there's a little trickiness between the hands, so you work that out. And once you can do that, you go back through it, get rid of the hesitations, so it's a steady beat. It can be slow, doesn't matter, it's got to be a steady beat. And then we think about the articulation, which in this case there really isn't any. You got slurs, and you got rests in between the slurs for the most part. I don't agree with their slurring. However, keep in mind that you don't always lift up before and after a slur anyway. You have to consider the music and what's needed. It's like at the bottom of page 29, the last 2 measures. On the right hand, you got a slur here. I disagree with that. I think that all needs to be connected. And the reason I think it should be connected is because I'm reading the words. You can usually follow the sentences in the words or the clauses in the words to tell you where the phrases are. And easily hide, there's no break in, but easily hide, no. And even the second verse, traveling, show, there's no break there. So I would slur all of that together. If I were going to sing it, I would sing it connected all together. Then going on, even on measures 13 and 14, I think all that needs to be slurred together. 1 and 2. 1. So follow the sentences, follow the words as far as when you lift up. I mean, if it's a rest, you have to lift up. But otherwise, I think in most cases, you're going to connect them. Look on measure 30 and 31. Here they do show it connected. 1. Here, Well, it's almost the same as what you had on measure 13. Anyway, I'd connect it. Now on measure 36 going on, again, I'd connect all this. To me, that's all one sentence. So add the articulation, and then we can think about the dynamics. The introduction, it's both hands, is sort of soft. Whatever you think moderately soft is. Now, it's a little tricky there in the third measure because both hands need this. You got to get off a little bit early in the. Otherwise, I wouldn't get off of this until as I played the E, I would get off it. That doesn't work because it's the same note. And then starting measure 5, now the MP belongs to the melody, and this left hand has to get soft. Sort of in the soft, gentle area till you get on page 13 after the second ending. Measure 24, you come up to moderately loud. Well, that means the left hand can be moderately soft, and the right hand's moderately loud. Yeah, but the melody are the notes with the words. Those we want to hear out. The other stuff, keep in the background. So on measure 26, that's soft. There should be no confusion on the listener's part exactly which notes are melody. They should know that's not melody. On measure 31, you crescendo up to loud and accent there. The left hand is sort of a moderately soft still, and then pick up to measure 36. Now, all of a sudden you're soft. And measure 39, there's a swell. So the left hand's soft, it come up to moderately soft, that note right there, and then come down. And now it's you're like you were at the beginning, moderately soft, and this is both hands here. So as for the speed, you can find recordings of this. It's how fast would you sing this melody? 4/1. You remember the speed, the tempo isn't the speed of the beat. It's the overall feel and flow of the piece. It's just a moderate piece, moderate feel. And that's sort of what I think it should be. Now they've added pedal. Oh, goody. Well, all right. It's kind of clean and dry the way it is. We'd like some overtones. We'd like to help us connect things. I don't know about this introduction, though. If I pedal it the way it's shown, it's overlapping pedal. I mean, notes go down first and then the pedal, and it's legato throughout the first 4 measures. It's this. And if that's the effect you want, fine. It just seems to me you don't need that effect. I don't even need the pedal, really. Or maybe I just pedal the first beat with the left hand. So it's a different effect. And it's up to you and your ears and what you like to hear as to what it is. These pedalings in these books are just suggestions. Anything I tell you is just a suggestion. Ultimately, it's what you like to hear. Just don't automatically pedal everything. And then, of course, we don't pedal measure 5. We don't want to smear that. No, but measure 6 is fine because we can connect these repeated notes that way. Measure 9. Change it after you play the F. And you don't even need to pedal that if you don't want to, but I don't want to smear it. I don't want all that. So you got to change the pedal or don't pedal. And then that's fine. You have to judge. I mean, try the pedaling in the book for the most part is not too bad. If it's getting smeary, I don't want to, I'm going to change the pedal or not pedal it. And on like the measure 36, they've got this pedaling going all the way through. I don't like connecting a melody like that. I don't like smearing it. I'd like it to be a little cleaner. So I'm going to change the pedal maybe every 2 beats. I want to lose the first note. There. There. See, so I'm going to change the pedal there. And I don't want that. So I'm going to change the pedal there. Is my impression. So sometimes you have to follow what the melody is doing, and sometimes you're following the harmony, and sometimes you just don't want to smear stuff. But it's nice to connect these chords on the left hand. Look at the measure 13 and going on, you have these. They're showing the pedal toward the end of the measure. Well, really what we're doing is connecting the chord in the left hand. That's all. And that's very common. I do that quite a bit, and even going on measure 18 and 19, you can pedal those 2 measures, connect those chords on the left hand. You can pedal that, or it's here and then here. Yes, I agree with that. At the bottom of page 13, measure 27 here. They have you pedaling this. You don't need to. You don't need pedal there. That's by itself, nice and clean. So I see no reason to pedal that part. So there's different reasons for pedaling. It's important to understand the reason for pedaling. Throughout all my years of lessons I took, I think most all the time, every teacher, the reason for pedaling they gave me was because they said to. That was it. There was no thinking, hey, why are you pedaling this and not this, and why is this needed here? They never really explained that much. It's been over the years after listening to a lot of piano players and a lot of professionals, I thought, you know, that pedal makes sense if you just think about it. Now there's a page turn here. And you're playing this for people, you got to get this page turned. Well, fortunately, you only have whole notes in the left hand. So if you want, at the bottom of page 29 here, you're going to lose the left hand because I don't want to pedal it. If I do, I'm going to change on the C. Well, I still lose the left hand if I change it. So just lift up real quick. After you play the chord, lift up and change the page is what I can suggest there. Ideally, you memorize it. Now on page 13, you have a repeat sign to take you back to page 12. Well, there you do have a rest, or you should have a rest in the right hand. The music is incorrect. On measure 21 and 23, they should have a whole rest in that measure in the top staff. It should not be empty. So, but you can take advantage of that while your left hand is playing these notes. You can turn the page back with the right hand. Oh, not that. That's handy. And that's about all I can suggest. When we do the play with me, I'll just play page 12 and stop. And then I'll turn the page and I'll count in again and I'll play page 13 and 14. I'm not going to take the repeat or the first ending there. Measures 20 and 21, I'm going to skip those because of the page turn. So we'll just do straight to the second ending and just go on. like to play this with you very slowly now to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. And as I said, I'm just going to do it straight through. I'm not taking the first ending on page 13, which is straight through. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Turn the page. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1